Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news of some disquieting trends in Australia. But first, American jobless claims last week held steady, reinforcing the idea that their labour market is on track and generating new jobs at a fairly fast clip. Across the Atlantic, Eurozone leaders will tell Greece later today that time and patience are running out for it to implement agreed reforms to avert a looming cash crunch that could force it out of the single currency. Suddenly, Grexit talk is back, this time fueled by the EU. However, Greece is about to make a relatively small debt repayment to the IMF later today. In Ireland, the countdown is on until the removal of EU milk production quotas, and their dairy industry is gearing up to produce a lot more product. If they get where they're aiming for, it will still be small beer by New Zealand standards, but still it'll be more supply into world markets. In Australia, there was data released yesterday that showed their mining companies are shedding jobs by the thousands, with 50,000 workers losing their jobs in the past year. And their federal budget deficit forecast has gone backwards by at least $80 billion since their government came to office, undermining their Prime Minister's claim that a tough budget is not needed this year because the nation's finances are under control. They clearly aren't. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year bond yields have continued their retreat after the Fed's statement and now at just 1.94%. Local swap rates followed the Wall Street lead yesterday and flattened at the same time. The 1.5 curve is now as flat as we've seen it since early February, when it was completely flat. Today is likely to flatten even further on the Wall Street moves this morning. The crude oil price rose from its very low levels and is now back to $45 a barrel, and Brent crude is at $54 a barrel. The gold price took a bit of a jump overnight and is now at $1,170 an ounce. In London, almost a century of tradition will disappear as technology takes over today in gold trading. Today is the last day that traders at 4 banks agree by phone to deal and value gold. The New Zealand dollar starts today slightly weaker against the greenback at 73.9 US cents, is at 97 Aussie cents and actually close to a record high, and the TWI is at 79.3. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.